Okay, I think we'll get started. We have Omar out in the foyer just making sure everybody is coming in, okay? We also have online guests that are joining us. So just to let you know that we have Santi online from Mind Designs. Hi there, welcome. He will be monitoring our online guests as well as our guest speaker, Tony Trafford, who is the CEO founder of Just Bananas. So we have only admitted everybody this morning who actually got bananas on their way to work. So thank you for stocking up on your bananas. Yeah, please find a seat and we'll be getting started very soon. We're also having a conversation with those that perhaps are new to the Connectivity Cafe. So I'd like to welcome Michelle and Rod, who we just had a quick discussion with. So if you're new to Connectivity Cafe, and Jonty, so if you are new to Connectivity Cafe, welcome. We usually have an agenda where towards the end, we welcome new founders or new small businesses that have joined us today to have a discussion around what you're doing and how you're contributing to the innovation ecosystem in the far north. So Wayne, I think you joined us last week, so you're back second time, so that's a good sign. So welcome. And before we start today's proceedings, I'd like to invite Dr. Jackie Lavis in our portfolio companies who will be actually doing our acknowledgement of country today. So over to you, Jackie.
Okay, thank you. We meet today on the lands of the Javagai people. The university campus is steeped in tradition, plenty of creek lines, tree lines and stone-making places which are important. In the broader region, we acknowledge the Gimoiwaraba Yidinji and the Irriganji people, and then further afield again, the Ganganji people of the Yarrabah, the Mandingalwa Yidinji, and to the north, the Kukuyalanji people. A land of nations, a land of farmers and gatherers, understanding of plants and the seasons of the rainforest. Despite what people think, Indigenous people are gardeners, farmers, understanders of the seasons. Plenty of ethnographic evidence about how seasonal camps were used. You planted your yams and your other food plants before you left and came back in 12 months, and there were your harvests. A long history, of course, in far north Queensland of Indigenous people working in the cane industry, and I'm not so sure about bananas, but I'm sure that they also worked in the banana industries. So a strong adapted tradition, and one that gives us a context for this morning's conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. We're going to dive right into our Banana AI session for today, and we have Tony who's online with us today, and he'll be having a discussion with us online. And for those of you that are online, feel free to write your comments, ask your questions, and as we go through, this is a very casual back and forth conversation. And it's really to showcase the reason why we have these connectivity cafes is to showcase what's happening in our innovation ecosystem. Obviously, you're here with us at the JCU Ideas Lab, and this is where we actually host our Founders in Residence portfolio and a lot of our other programs and initiatives and strategies that we have in relation to innovation and AI across far north Queensland. We also have the Cairns AI Hub. So we host that from the Queensland AI Hub, and that's more of our operational type programming. We also have more of a strategic level AI consortium that covers across Australia. And with the AI consortium, we're always working at a strategic level around AI adoption, influence around Australia. And we were just recently awarded with Griffith University a $2 million grant in order to really drive AI in girls in the region. So we're running a girls-driven school-based program in relation to AI adoption in our future generations, right? We need to be really thinking about how are we building AI into an innovation. The other announcement I have is we're talking with our Future Students group. And our Future Students group is all about the future of. And we've recognized at JCU that we have heroes of engineering, heroes of education, heroes of business, heroes of healthcare. What are we missing in that list? Heroes of AI and innovation. So the future students are working closely with me and our new innovation officer, Ramona, and we are building the Future Founders portfolio for year 10 that are coming in through our school network through JCU. And I mention that to all of us here because I think we all have a responsibility of legacy and an opportunity to lead this great work in the far north. So I'm letting you know about these up and coming programs, and I'll give you an update at each Connectivity Cafe. So we've got a new fund that's really focused around upcoming female founders and also the work that we're doing in the far north. So with that, Tony, are you online with us?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Everybody put their hand up when I mentioned, have you collected your bananas on your way to work this morning? And I'm really curious because obviously you joined our Venture Builder program, which is our joint initiative with the Queensland Government and Mind Designs, and under the Regional Enablers program. But I wondered if you wouldn't mind really sharing with everybody here on site and online. You have an intriguing business model, and I think we're all intrigued with it. And I'm wondering, could you talk us through your, number one, your journey, how you got there, and also your business model, because it's really compelling. So over to you, Tony.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm a co-founder of the 3 brands. We've got Banana Brothers in Cairns, and we've got Just Bananas in Ipswich, and we've got Logan Bananas in Logan, Southeast Queensland. I've been running for about 5 years now. We started. I wasn't the first person to be doing this business. In fact, it's unoriginal. I blatantly copied somebody else, I guess. But what I have done is maybe pushed it a bit more, introduced things like FPOS into our banana trailers, and just expanded a lot. So when I first had the very first trailer I put out, it was a Smithfield just down the road from where you are. Once we realized it was going to work, I quickly realized that to get any real economic benefit, we had to scale, and scale fairly fast and try and do it as much as we can. And so yeah, I've got 13 trailers in Cairns, and we've got 11 in Ipswich, and currently 14 in Logan. And yeah, we work with city councils and Transport Main Roads to find places to put our banana trailers. We're currently working with Brisbane City Council, which has been a little bit difficult, but we're looking at doing a 6-month trial for 6 trailers in Brisbane City. And then yeah, we're also looking at Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast and Moreton Bay and Redlands Bay city councils as well. Yeah, basically we take a waste product. Don't like to say waste, but we take a product that other major buyers don't buy, and we take them from the farm and ship them to a location in Cairns and ship them to a location in Brisbane, and then distribute them from there. So yeah, every trailer's filled up every morning. Staff go out about 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning and work for 6 or 7 hours stocking up all the trailers. And yeah, it's a very interesting business model that, dumping a whole lot of fruit on the side of the road and hoping someone pays for it. But they do every day. Yeah, yeah, so we're solving a problem at the farm, which is the waste problem. We don't pay like when the farmer sends his products to Sydney or Melbourne or the markets or Brisbane. The price varies. They pay for the freight. They pay for the cost of the box. So I've turned it on our head. I pay for the freight. I pay for the box. I pay for all the costs from the farm gate, which is good for the farmer. They know what they're getting. I get a good price. It's locked in. The price doesn't vary. And yeah, that's about it really. It's pretty simple.
Could you give us an example of your ability in relation to scaling? And obviously you've moved into Ipswich, Logan, but I remember having a discussion with you around how you wanted to bring your bananas to the southern states, like if you went down south to Melbourne, for example.
Yeah, basically we definitely can do that. Anywhere where Coles and Woolies are sending fruit, we can put our bananas pretty much in the same truck and get them to wherever they're going as well. So there is opportunity to put these trailers everywhere. Like we wanted to make sure they work in Logan, well, Ipswich and Logan, in the city environment, like very urban environment. Everyone in Cairns and Townsville is used to it with the bananas, or in a rural environment, there's farm gate stuff everywhere, right? But put it in Maruka or Sunnybank Hills or anywhere where it's not the norm. Like I had to prove that it had to work in a very urban environment for a start, and convince councils that it's not just the absolutely crazy concept and things aren't going to get stolen and tagged and it's not going to be a disaster. So that's once we did that, once we knew it worked in Ipswich, and then we moved to Logan, and then it worked in Logan, which is not, they're not super rich places. Then the opportunity really arose that we could put this everywhere if we pushed it real hard. So I'm currently working with 3 farms, pulling most of all their waste from 3 farms. There's 376 banana farms in far north Queensland. So we've got a long way to go before we exhaust all our fruit. And yeah, the demand is there. Like Coles and Woolies, other majors, sell premium product. They don't sell this product that I sell. They're making a lot of money to keep their margins pretty high. There's a lot of pushback on Coles and Woolies at the moment as well, given the news. And yeah, as long as we can deal with the transport costs, which is a major issue, then we could move to Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely scalable, more scalable than what we're doing right now. Yeah, 100%. Dealing with the hardest thing. The hardest thing is getting the councils on board. Like it's not roadside vending is not something that's very predominant in major cities, and a lot of the times, our model is we leave the trailers. Everyone knows we leave the trailers there overnight. We don't lock them up. People can shop all the time. That's very foreign to most city councils in Australia. Yeah.
So it's an amazing business model. So my son, Gio, before he goes to his rugby games, always stops at the banana trailers. And I'm sure a lot of us have got stories of stopping at a banana trailer. But he always asks me, Mum, why aren't they in bunches, right? And I realized once I had the discussion with you, the reason why they're not in bunches is that you basically get all the rejects from Coles and Woolworths, right?
Yeah, so too straight, too bendy, too fat, too skinny.
Too fat, too skinny, too curvy.
Yep.
What about color? Obviously that's linked to ripeness, right?
Yeah, so we do get the green and then we do ripen them up. So yeah, and the Coles and Woolworths, I don't like to say Coles and Woolworths, but the majors, supermarkets, they have a bunch, and then so these are the ones on the outside. They break them off to make the bunch look perfect. And that's what we get. And so they're perfectly good. Like they taste good. And we try to make what we do 100% make our product faster. So we don't use cold storage. I'm shipping every day from the farms. Every single day there's a truck moving from the farms. We don't hold them in cold storage, and that makes our product fresher. So less time, because we're sort of more fast moving. We're not just ripening a container at a time or whatever. So yeah, our products, hopefully they taste better. Usually they taste a bit more because they're more fresher as well, which is good.
Yeah, and yeah, that's really interesting, and I'm sure everyone on here feels that way. They do taste better, and I'm wondering why.
Yeah.
Is it because they're? Can you explain that type of taste factor? Because they do taste better, like compared to a bunch that I might get in Coles or IGA or Woolies. They do taste better, and I'm wondering if you could explain that.
Yeah, I haven't had a Coles or Woolies banana for a very long time, so I can't really say if it tastes better. I don't know. But most of our people say that, most of our customers do say they taste better. Yeah, it's just time. So we're ripening in Cairns. There's no Coles or Woolworths DC in Cairns they're ripening. They send them down south to ripen, and then they ship them back up. So our bananas have less time in the truck, basically, and that's the key. So less travel time and less time in cold storage. And when you ripen a banana and you put it in the fridge and then you pull it out, like, it's all very temperature controlled, but that affects the taste as well. And so yeah, and also our bananas are just moving quicker from the farm. So I'm buying pallets at a time. I'm not waiting to fill a whole massive truck, like when they ship to Brisbane or to Sydney for Coles or Woolies. Really, that's basically less time and less distance in my product, which does affect it. That's why.
Yeah, I believe you shared some data with me, some statistics that the banana is the longest traveling fruit in Australia, like 4,800 kilometers or something.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
One of those sort of like, really important data facts to have at a party, right? Did you know that a banana? But can you explain that data point, what that means to you as a business?
Yeah, it just means that we just have to be super fast onto it on having stock moving all the time. So like we need to be harvesting every day, or the farms, they are harvesting every day, but like just taking the extras like they do, like the outsiders or whatever, and just continually, like, not waiting until there's a truckload basically of bananas. So we move all the time. So yeah, just the fastness of turnaround. And so stock going into my warehouse in Brisbane and in Cairns every day, and then ripening every day, so not bulk ripening. That is the key. Yeah. And and so all bananas are grown in Far North Queensland, or some in Darwin, some mostly in Far North Queensland. So that's why they travel, to Tasmania and Melbourne and South Australia and things like that. It's just it's just a very well traveled product. And yeah, they're grown all year round. The reason they're grown in Far North Queensland is because we have a faster growing time. You can ripen a banana in 9 months. Down south, it's like 10 or 11 months. Up in the tablelands is a little bit slower as well. That's why Tully, Innisfail Tully, is the prime position for it. And yeah, #1 fruit in Australia, outsells everything else. Number 2 selling product in the supermarket. Only Coca-Cola outsells bananas, which is incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's another great fact I can use.
Yeah. And it's a herb as well. Yeah,
wow, that's fascinating. And is that across Australia, or is that just that links to Far North Queensland?
Well, the #1 seller. No, it's across Australia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in the right business then.
Yeah, and every day, like, people buy every day, so it's good. And and people are always looking for different costs. Like, there's a sort of a season.
Yeah.
March to October, which is prime banana season. There's not many other fruits around. That's when the major supermarkets will keep the price quite high. And yeah, we can definitely beat them on that for sure. which is good.
Awesome. So part of your business, I guess, model is also trust, because I'm curious to hear, because I remember you sharing a story about the Lamborghini guy, and I know for locals in the room, you know about the Lamborghini story around bananas, but could you talk to us about how you've put trust in your customer right at the center?
Yeah, so it's basically the whole premise, I guess, is trust. It was actually a Maserati, but that's fine. And yeah, so we do have cameras in the trailers, but it's pretty hard to prosecute people, and we're not watching the cameras the whole time. The cameras are sort of also for stock monitoring. Yeah, so we started off just cash only, and then I introduced FBOS into the trailers, and that cut down on the theft quite a lot. So giving people more options to pay is a big deal, and that helped out a lot. But yeah, a lot of people watch other people, so it becomes a little bit self-monitoring, and we get emails or texts every day saying, "Oh, I saw this person didn't pay," or "Here's a number plate of someone that didn't pay." So I don't want people to be vigilantes, but it does happen. Like, people, don't like other people not paying. And yeah, there is definitely an element of theft involved in the business, but we just factored that into the business model and the price and everything. So it's just a part of the business, really. But yes, we do trust everyone. It's good. And that's the thing about, like, coming down south, going to Logan or Ipswich. Some parts are not the most economically wealthy suburbs, and a lot of people thought it wouldn't work in these areas, but it just shows that 90% of people are good people, and that's all we need, and it works in these areas. Yeah, if you trust people, then they'll give back to you. Like, that's sort of how it works. And if you get homeless people that pick up 2 or 3 bananas and they don't pay for it, well, it's not that bad. It's doing a bit of a community good thing, I guess.
Yeah, so giving back to the community.
Yeah,
love it. And obviously with scaling, I'm going to move into that, because we've now called it Project Banana, as in with the AI, because we were able to hustle around some of your challenges that you had with the ability to scale and to look at your supply chain as you grew your company across not only far north Queensland, but moving south, right?
Yeah. So into the program, I didn't really think I had much of a tech business, if you like. We had some troubles, some interesting concepts to try and to deal with. And I thought it was a very basic business, but what you've shown is how we can use AI in an incredible way, really. And yeah, it's fantastic what we can do, what we will do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just put up on screen some of the challenges that Tony came to us as part of the work that I do in our portfolio. So I actually bring in some fantastically talented, and I know some of you have met them, Masters of Data Science students, Masters of IoT Engineering, BIT, so Bachelors of IT and Masters of IT, and also our PhDs. We actually bring them into our portfolio as interns, and we match our interns with challenges that our portfolio companies are having. So it's almost, you get this sort of like stealth, really clever stealth workforce. And we do it so that, number one, we have industry-ready graduates. And number two, it helps those that are scaling, those that are small, medium enterprises that are struggling to find talent, which is one of our big challenges here in the far north. And we've got this amazing access, not only with our national-based students, but I also bring in our international students, so they get to experience some of the industry that we have in the far north, but they also get to work on real challenges. So I brought together an amazing team, and I think some of them are online, and I know Kim Bender, who's also IOTA's company, who's one of our portfolio companies here, helped with the hardware. So we'll take you through a journey based on the challenges, and you can see Tony in that far corner there at the trailer, and we had to work out how were we going to get line of sight with this trailer, which is located just outside BP. Is everyone familiar with this banana trailer? Anyone frequent it recently? Yes? It's a great location, Tony, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
And so what I thought I would do is I'd take you through the project and have Tony speak to the challenges that he currently has with his business, and then how we were able to, number one, work with Laura Wan, which is the low density sensors. So everything we've built has been on site, on premise, and we were actually working on models with YOLO and CV, and we'll take you through those based on Tony's challenges. So I'm just checking with Santi. Is Kim online as well? Just checking. Kim said yes, excellent. So I'll call Kim up in a minute to talk about the hardware, and then we'll talk about YOLO. So everyone's familiar with YOLO? Does anybody know what YOLO stands for? Y-O-L-O. You only look once. You only live once. That's why you have to eat bananas. But YOLO is what we used in relation to training the model and object detection. And then for processing, we'll talk about that. And we actually got, I'll take you through the data and the percentages of reliability that we got from the data. But before we move into this part of the story, just wanted to park it there and see if there's any questions, mainly from the business model or the challenges that Tony might have. Does anybody have any questions? Pia?
Thank you, Tony. Congratulations. My name's Pia from Greener AI. One question that keeps looping around in my brain as you're talking is obviously this is needed, community needs it, how can we help you scale? So what do you see as the current potential limitations to you scaling this business model further today, and how do you see AI could help there? I'm sorry, could you hear me, Tony?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, lovely.
So
okay.
the limitations of scale is probably getting the councils on board, I guess, would be if I guess convincing every council, which is getting easier. Like, you know, I've got pretty much Brisbane coming on, and I've only done that with the help of John Raven and Logan and other mayor of Ipswich. You know, each council helps the next one come along. You know, and yeah, just I guess I've got to build a lot of trailers. I've got to have some cash to do that. I've got to have people on the ground hiring. I've got to have ripening facilities in each city. But that's really it. I mean, that's probably the biggest hurdles. And then, you know, how big do I want to get? And then what we're going to talk about like next is just the I guess the sort of the monitoring. Like, it's easy to have a lot of waste in this business if things aren't done right. Kind of waste, but also like wasted opportunities. You know, like if my trailer at BP there sells out at 2 o'clock, you know, I've missed that 2 to 6 window. How much money have I not made because I didn't have enough bananas in there? I need to know that, you know, on Sunday I'm going to sell X 15% more than Tuesday or Wednesday, and yeah, it kind of comes down to data analytics and working out. That is a big side of it, which I didn't really realize until I scaled, that it becomes really important. And I guess time, like maybe me taking a step back and letting someone else be the manager of Sydney or Melbourne or franchising or licensing. That is probably could be the next step as well for me, which I'm sort of toying with. Yeah, hope that helps answer your question.
Thank you, Tony.
Over to you, Wayne. Thanks, Tony. Wayne's got a question.
Do I push a button? Hey, Tony, my name's Wayne. How you going?
Good, man.
That's good. Hey, firstly, I'm not sure if many people know around here when it comes to AI that a lot of AI assistants originally, when trying to solve problems, were using what was called a nano banana. So I actually find it quite hilarious that you're using
nano banana,
AI for bananas.
Exactly.
And also, having originally been a Brisbane boy growing up in Pine Rivers, I wish you the very best of luck of dealing with Moreton Bay Regional Council, because they're not easy to get through.
You got any contacts?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish I did. I'm a Cairns boy now. But my question for you is, because I work very heavily with Google Map Packs and also AI to recommend people, I'm wondering, have you had any struggles with regards to, or have you looked into trying to get your businesses or the trailers on Google Maps at all? And are you having difficulties with this?
No, not really. I've got 2 in Cairns on Google Maps, and basically I do a little bit of Facebook advertising. This is another crazy thing, like insane. My advertising budget is pretty much like $300 a year. It's like I just don't do anything, man. It's people tell it's word of mouth. It's putting them in the right place. It's having lights on at night. And yeah, just a little bit of Facebook advertising really, and community groups. People tell other people. I don't really run marketing campaigns. I just haven't really needed to, which is crazy. Currently, they're almost all selling out at the moment, so
I'm not
it's
trying
good.
to say anything. I was just wondering how you went with that. I'm actually putting together, I work heavily with AI, I'm putting together a new business profile package that competes with Google's business profiles. It'll be free anyway, so I'll talk to everyone about that down the track.
Yeah, hit me up. I should be on Google more. Like, it's something that I definitely should do, and I'll put on my to-do list. But I haven't really done that much. It's crazy. Haven't needed to. Yeah.
Nice. I commend you again on your business model. My partner and I, every time we drive through Cairns with a new member of our family, always have to be the one to get in first to say, you want a banana, as we're coming up to the one on the Captain Cook Highway, just near Road Glen. Thanks very much, man.
That's awesome.
Yes, all good.
Great questions, Wayne. And Wayne's just recently joined our portfolio, so make sure when we break out for our networking that you have a discussion with Wayne and what he's offering for businesses here in the far north. Just checking to see if there's any online questions, Santi. There's nothing online, so we'll keep going. I just wanted to correct myself. It's not 4,880, it's 6,000. It's around 7,000 kilometres from farm to supermarket shelves. So I just wanted to correct myself there. I also wanted to be able to take you through the challenges that Tony just mentioned there, and then what we did as a team from the hardware perspective, and then obviously with some models. And we'll also talk about what's next, and also if there's any other input that you feel that you could provide Tony from a business case perspective. So what we thought we'd do is take you through a little bit about the story. So as you know, I hustle with our interns. They have a very structured internship, and it's approximately 480 hours that they dedicate as part of their actual degree towards having an internship. And JCU is very, very committed to industry-ready graduates. And I think in this AI-driven world, you need to be bringing this in very, very early. That's why we're starting with year 10s as of next year. It's important that we're driving that for the regions. And being a regional university, I think we've got great opportunity to text and flex, Testing and flexing and pivoting with these type of initiatives is awesome. So I know that we've got Kim on call right now, so I wanted to give the floor to Kim to talk about the hardware. How do we connect to a banana trailer that's sitting down at BP, and what type of sensors and systems basically do the job for what we needed. So Kim, I'm just checking that you're there.
Morning. Yeah.
Awesome. Would you like to take us through that? And I'm going to put some, because this actual field study, we went down to the trailers regularly in the heat, mind you. We started this, I think, Tony, we started this conversation for the Venture Builder about last year, around November, if I remember rightly.
Yep.
And it was hot.
Yeah, it was definitely hot.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, we always had about 4 bananas when we were down there, and the students were very hungry. So we went down as a field study and we assembled the sensors. So there's a picture here of Kim and Tony and Damon, one of our Cairns University technology students from China who works again with us on this project. So I wanted to hand the floor over to you, Kim, just to talk about the LoRa, the network that we developed for this project.
Yep. So hi everyone. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Kim Bender. I'm the founder of IOTAS. We're an IoT engineering firm based at the Ideas Lab here in Cairns. We work across a large range of areas, from electrical product, sensor design and prototyping, to edge AI, and using those sensors and data to build virtual twins in Unreal Engine. LoRa, it's short for long range. It's a radio modulation technique that uses an unlicensed radio band here in Australia to transmit low power, low bandwidth messages. What this means is it runs on a free frequency band in Australia, which is usually the 915 megahertz band. You don't need a license for this band. Its unique modulation method, also known as chirps, chirp spreads, allow very small message to be transmitted over a very long range. What this means, so LoRa actually holds some pretty cool range records. It has sent a message from Earth, bounced it off the moon and back to Earth, and was received clearly. This is about a 730,000 kilometer round trip. At sea level, it has about a range of up to about 1,300 kilometers, which is the record. So both these records were completed off low cost, off the shelf modules that we can just go buy. That long range does come at a cost though. We can only send very small messages, a few hundred bytes. This is perfect for the banana project because we're doing all the processing on the edge using a Raspberry Pi and just sending back very small, limited amount of data. Yeah, as you said, Sam, the actual banana stand is about 1.2 kilometers away from the Ideas Lab, which is too far for any normal protocol to use. So that's why we used LoRa for this project. Yeah, it's a pretty quick overview of the LoRa communication method and why we used it.
Awesome. And we've just had a new discovery. One of our IoT engineering students has actually, I think those sensors were 6 meters that one of the students came up with, I think in our last round of discovery. So what that means is rather than having it for line of sight, these ones actually just go for 6 meters. So again, we're looking at a whole lot of experimentation with the hardware. I'm going to park it there and see if there's anyone who has questions around the LoRa and the hardware. Yes, Wayne? Yeah. Anyone else before Wayne? No. I think, here we go. I've got the mic. Over to you, Wayne.
So having previously been based in Holloway's Beach and having major difficulties with telecommunications, I understand why you guys are doing this, but at the time I needed to sign up with Starlink. So I'm wondering what this system has in benefits as opposed to using Starlink with multiple satellites, and also how different phases of the moon affect your signal if you happen to be in a new moon as opposed to a full moon.
Right. So for this specific project with the banana store that we were using, which was it's still relatively close to JCU, the LoRa is very cheap. The modules cost about $10 each, and there's no ongoing costs with sending communications over them. So that was the main reason we used it for this like proof of concept. Obviously, as you move out and get further away, you would have to move to like a cellular style connection. Yeah, as for the moon phases, I'm not sure about that one. I have to get back to you on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, when we came into this, like I said, one of my biggest costs is data. So I'm running cameras, live feed cameras, not live feed, but I can check on my phone and see the bananas. But every time I look, it costs me money, data money. So I'm paying quite a lot per trailer. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to get 50 trailers or 100 trailers, each one, say, $400, $500 a year per data, per trailer, it's going to just add up ridiculous. So I had to make it, I was like, is there any alternative to this? And then this came up as like genius. I don't need to be viewing it on a video, like a video. I can just like this, just take a photo. I only look once. Perfect. Yeah.
So thanks, Kim, and thanks, Tony. And I think one other factor that's really important to bring up is what we call line of sight. So Kim, did you want to talk about how we connected line of sight from the JCU Ideas Lab? We had to find a very high level shelf because we had lots of challenges to connect the system because the trailer's sitting at BP, right, down in Smithfield. Can you talk about the importance of LOS?
Yep. So the record that I mentioned before with the moon, sending a message to the moon and back using LoRa, is the perfect example. It has we have line of sight to the moon from anywhere on Earth, whenever it's there. It's the same on the ground. As soon as there's trees or mountains in the way, it dramatically reduces the range we can get from LoRa. To get the range to that site, because there is trees in the road, we had to use the top floor of the Ideas Lab, and that was enough for us to get a signal, 1.2 kilometers from the Ideas Lab to that stall. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. These are some of the challenges that I wanted you to hear, because this was, it all looks fantastic, but it's once you peel away, as you know, for research, Dr. Clancy, this is really important. And I think too, I know that you've also worked with our interns. So I think, part of this is to really give a lot of learning experience. So it's not just the challenges and the opportunities, but how do we pivot if something doesn't work? And we did a lot of learning for that. And Adam, I know you've run a lot of projects with our interns, and this is just another great example of, so this is Damon's work with YOLO. He had to train the model. So remember, Tony was talking about how do I know the quality of my bananas? And I've got all this, decentralized trailers around Cairns. How do I know how many are ripe? How many have got rotten? How many, and I have to say, I don't think I've seen many rotten bananas in your trailers. But yeah, so this is what we...
How many have sold, how many haven't sold as well? It's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. So these were some of the questions that Tony came up with as a challenge for our interns. And this was the first round of, we needed to train a model that could recognize a ripe banana, a rotten banana, a good banana. And so we started to run that model. And the training that went on behind this enabled us to then work out the next level, which was more around the validation of the model. So at this point in time, we got 92% for you, 92.5%, Tony.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And reliability.
Yep.
For this first round. Obviously, we're going to continue to train the model to bring up that validation, but this is part of the work that the students, the interns, are working on. So what does this mean for Tony from a business perspective? We've got hardware that's installed in his trailers. We're monitoring it from our lab here at JCU Ideas Lab. We've got a model now that tells you about the quality of the bananas in the trailers. So what's next for Tony? So this is what we've come up with for you, Tony. A banana dashboard. I should say banana dashboard, right? About locations, like Tony mentioned. I need to know where my trailers are. I need to know the quality of my bananas and how many bananas get sold in the morning versus someone going to work, where a mother coming and getting bananas for, you know, the customer behavior. And when we asked Tony about that, he says, well, I don't know. And as Tony mentioned, every time he looks at his phone, it's costing him. That's what AI does for you. Detects, counts, measures quality. And I think this is a really great use case of one of our local businesses that we all are invested in, because we go and get our bananas. And I think this is an opportunity for us to, number one, look at quality control. As you've mentioned, GPS, Google Maps, where are those banana stores, especially as Tony scales across Australia? How is he going to connect his network? What about supply chain? You know, what are some of the trends in relation to time and seasons? Where is Tony, you know, missing an opportunity for, you know, purchasing? But also, you mentioned a really important factor, Tony, because in the mornings, your team goes manually, right, to actually drop off the bananas.
Yeah. So I sort of want to know what time they're selling out, or what time a certain has gone bad, and then people stop buying. Like the peak times are usually 9 till 11, and then 3 till 6. You know, is it worth some trailers getting a top up in the afternoon? That's sort of what I need to know, really, at different stages of the year as well, at different heat levels and stuff. Like yeah, that's what I want to know.
And this is what we want to do, is have this live banana feed, so you know in your locations where you need to top up. And Jonty's already thinking, what about a fleet of drones to drop the bananas? So maybe this is part 2 of this field experiment, is how do we have a fleet of drones that go in and drop the produce at the trailers. And this is an opportunity, I think, for all of us to hustle and to think about this particular model. And this is where we want to get Tony in relation to his business. And this is an example of what we've worked on, again, with our portfolio company, IOTIS, Kim, and also a fleet of our interns. So I'll leave the floor now, Tony, for any closing remarks that you might have. We'll obviously continue the project, right, Kim? This is our first round. We're going to continue to enhance the model and also get it live so that Tony can look across all of his, as we scale, he scales, you know. So this is an opportunity for us to continue on that work. But I'll leave the floor for you, Tony, just to wrap up, if you would like to wrap up today's session. And thanks, Kim, for also sharing your insights. Over to you, Tony.
Nice, thanks for having me.
Yeah, cheers, Kim. Thanks. It's interesting to, you know, if you don't ask the questions, you don't get the answers. Like, I thought most of the stuff was just futuristic, if you like. Like, you know, I thought I had a pretty basic business, but when you look at things like this, what we actually can do, it's incredible, you know. Like, and it will really drive my business forward and make it more profitable and just easier to manage and easier to scale, which is the main thing, with less wastage, less lost opportunity costs, I guess, as well. And yeah, hopefully a better product for everybody. Like it's a win-win, especially if we can save money and make a better product, which is it's great. Yeah, it's good. I love it. It's good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll leave the floor now for any questions that anyone has or any comments. We've still got Tony online. Are you still okay to hang for a couple of questions? Yeah. Santi, did you have any? Karen, I think was first. Yeah. Do you have any questions online? Just checking. Okay, so we're just checking to see if there's any questions online. Over to you, Karen.
Hi, Tony. It's great to hear about a local business in Cairns and how you have grown over these last couple of years. My business is Chat2, so I have been working in the AI field for 12 years. So I certainly can share your frustration with government and councils in trying to sell a concept, particularly around, well, for me it was AI, but just that resistance to change is really difficult to manage. Yeah. But my questions actually were around, I was very interested to hear what staff you actually do have employed and what roles that they do undertake. And also with your expansion plans down south, you've got $2 a kilo up here. Does that change for going down south? I would expect with fuel prices going up and all that kind of thing. I was interested to hear on your perspective around that.
Yeah, in Cairns I've got two business partners in Cairns, and I've got 3 casual staff, and their job is just refilling the trailers every morning. In Southeast Queensland, I've got 2 managers for 2 different businesses units, if you like, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 casual staff down here, and we're $2.50 in Brisbane. So the 50 cents pretty much takes care of the freight issue, and yeah, it's going well. $2.50 is currently still half the price of the supermarkets, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah, and so we have hardware. We've got utes and trailers in Brisbane, and in Cairns we've got utes, warehouse, trailer behind the ute, and obviously all the trailers out there as well. Yeah.
Over to Thomas. Sure. Thanks, Karen.
This is new to me. Do I just do like
yeah,
this?
Just, yeah.
Hi, Tony, and congratulations. Nice to hear from you and your partners. My name is Thomas. I work with AI, maybe more from a responsible technology and social impact perspective. So I wonder 2 things. In this, when you're using cameras, etc., where there's people, do you have a data protocol for how to safeguard what you're recording, etc.? That's the first part. The second part I have completely forgotten, so I'll follow up with you.
We'll start with the first part.
The first part, no, we don't record. Well, we record people as they buy. It's obviously it's a motion sensor. We don't keep that unless the police ask for it, which they have asked on a number of occasions because of other crimes that have happened in the area. Like we have these on roads, and there's been car accidents, and the police have requested information from us. But that's a good point. We don't keep it, and there's signs in all the trailers saying you are on camera. So I guess we're telling people that as they purchase or steal, they will be filmed. And yeah, it's pretty hard to call people out if they don't, if they haven't paid sometimes, because people forget, or people say that they've paid, or tap their card but nothing goes through and they make mistakes. Yeah, something that I probably should look at more, like informing people that we are filming them as they purchase. I mean, I don't know, people are pretty used to it now. You go to Coles, you're on film. You go to checkout, you're being filmed. Everywhere you're being filmed, I guess.
Thank you. I was just curious. Second, I do remember the second part. The quality assurance of the bananas it seems to me that this is a very straightforward supply chain, right? So how do you ensure that something bad doesn't show up in these trailers?
My staff are looking every morning, so they.
Sorry, how do you quality assure that you don't suddenly have something in these trailers that should not be there?
My farms are putting in there what they put in for like Coles and Woolies. And if they send me bad products, I'll tell them. Yeah, I guess it's a closed circle. Like there's no outside influence. Like my farm's packed the bananas for me, goes on a truck, goes to my warehouse. There's no outside influence from anyone else. And then my staff pick it up and then they put them in the trailers. So yeah, and I guess as they put them in the trailers, they're looking at them, they pull out any rotten ones if there happens to be rotten ones or anything, any split or broken ones or anything like that. Yeah, very simple. I guess there's no contamination that goes. There's no chance of contamination because it's not going anywhere else that I don't know where it is. I guess. Okay. Are you thinking like the strawberries, like the needles in the strawberries?
Oh no, I wasn't thinking. Just more.
Needles in the strawberries. Yeah.
That was bad.
Kind of. Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm trusting people aren't going to walk up to my bananas and put needles in them. I mean, there's cameras there. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
We've got time for
I think we've got one last question, then we're going to go into our networking session.
Hi, Tony. I'll make this one pretty quick. Sean, I work with Pierre at Grieger. This is probably not the best question to ask as someone that's like implementing and trying to make a business around AI, but like I remember when these things came out and they were very low tech, and I remember seeing some early footage of obviously theft started to be an issue and someone gets caught on film. Putting all this technology in, like, is it worth it? Like at the end of the day, like if you got rid of all the devices, or maybe once you train people that there could be cameras, you could switch them all out and just put like the little fake ones in there, like and really cut your spend. But like if all you had was the bananas and filling them up, and you didn't have to worry about paying your overheads for your frost machines, and you weren't paying for cameras and data packs, like all of that stuff eats into your margins. But is there a return on investment there for a business as simple? And like I love the honor system. Like for me, that's I love Japan for this same reason. It's safe and people do the right thing, and 99% of people do it. But is it worth spending all that money to catch the people that aren't, that are that are cheating the system? Is it sort of over, like looking back, would you still do it, or would you just say, nah, just make everything else better,
Yeah, real good question actually. So there's two companies in Cairns. So there's me who's driving things forward, and there's another company who has another number of trailers that are pretty much unbranded, no marketing, no brand, most of them no cameras, pretty much all of them no cameras, no FOSS. So pretty much running cash only. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's a real good question. I think it is. I think I wouldn't have got to where I have today without what we're doing. And I think we're maximising, with cameras and with FOSS, we're maximising the opportunity for people to spend and to cut down on theft, and really, really being aware of how much we're selling at what times is a real big issue for me. And that's why the cameras and the data packs and the live feeds, that's where that really comes into its own. Knowing that I've sold out at 3 o'clock and I'm missing out on 2 hours of high potential sales is a big deal. And as we scale, that becomes way more, If I've got 30 trailers and I'm selling, half of them are selling out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well, I could be selling double the amount of bananas I sold, Yeah, I think it's worth it. And I like technology. I like enhancing. I like this sort of stuff. That's definitely, I think it's worth it for sure. But you're right, it's a higher capital investment, much higher.
Can you promise me that you won't put LCD screens in there, cross advertising other businesses and stuff, like little electronic billboards in there?
Yeah.
I've thought about it. Like that's not a bad idea as well. I've thought about it. People have come to me they're sitting on the side of the road. I can't put billboards on the outside of it because it becomes a billboard. Then I need a billboard license on the side of the road. But yeah, I've thought about putting LCD screens in, but it's another thing to get stolen. I don't know if it'll be worth it that much. There's a couple of roadside vendors in Melbourne who have got TVs in their trailers, so as you walk up, you're on camera and you see yourself on camera. I thought that was quite clever. so people know the cameras are working. Yeah, there is lots of other stuff we could do as well. Like, yeah, we're definitely looking at other fruits. We're looking at avocados and potatoes as another potential product that we're going to put in there as well. That's definitely we could do. Avocados, man, I want to do avocados for sure. There's big demand.
I wouldn't be putting the avocados in there with bananas unless you really want to be replacing them every yard.
Yeah, we got that next trailer, like 2 trailers next to each other. Yeah.
Avoana. Avoana. We just got a new brand, Avoana.
Yeah.
And I think that's and going to that marketing point that you brought up, and I think that's the appeal, right? I like to think that I'm helping a farmer.
Yeah.
And I feel like the brand itself is, you know, if it was different, you know, I don't know how everyone else feels. I love that it feels like, absolutely, but the fact that it doesn't have all the big marketing and the sponsorships and the fact that it feels like that cottage industry, that farm, you know, to plate type approach. I'm keen to hear everyone else's thoughts.
It's not full of like artificial flavors, colorings, additives, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like real food.
Yeah.
You should do it for everything.
Yeah, amazing. All right, I'm just going to, because we're at 10 o'clock right now.
It's also lovely because in the age of AI, the more we can help humanity and bring that, and
Good point.
AI for good.
Yes.
And for real applications on the ground level.
Yes.
So on your point. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, no, great insight. So I'll leave it at that. It's a great way to finish up today's session. So thank you, Pierre, for that insight. Thank you, Tony. Thanks to the intern team that were involved in this project. Speak to me if you'd like to link in with our interns. And also we are looking for other projects to hustle. So please let me know. We run several cohorts throughout the year. I'd also like to leave the floor to those that are new or first time to introduce themselves as we sign off for today. But if you'd like to introduce yourself, Michelle and Rob, yes.
Just 1 second, sorry, just a quick announcement. So Tony was actually part of our Venture Builder in the Impact10X program, and that's how we got a lot of value from us as mentors and basically the support that we got to leverage this technology. Our applications are closing really soon for the Venture Builder for this year. So if you are thinking of getting support for your business, especially if you already have some sort of traction, you have a few clients, or you have a business that's already operating and you need some marketing support, or you need some operations support, finance, legal, and you just need that advice, please apply to the Venture Builder. We had 30+ applicants. We only picked 5.